good morning, everybody. Welcome to Hot Takes Goodman and Haertl. Bruce, how are you this morning?
Not as good as Nikola Jokić.
I tell you something, it is Chiefs week. It is the biggest game for the Broncos in arguably 10 years, and there's just no possible way we can start the show without talking about arguably, and maybe not even arguably anymore, the greatest athlete in the history of Denver sports. But before we do, I want to tell you about Roller Auction. Get what you want at the price you want today at Roller Auction, the leader in Colorado auctions. For over 45 years today, Planet Open Box is having an auction for home goods, toys, exercise equipment, electronics, and more. Online bidding is started at rollerauction.com. Don't forget to go to rollerauction.com to learn about upcoming auctions in which you can bid from the comfort of your own home. Get what you want at the price you want today at Roller Auction. Time now for the lead.
The lead is presented by Smokin' Dave's Barbecue. It is not just the best barbecue in town, it is one of the best restaurants in town. You can find Smokin' Dave's Barbecue off 36th and Pecos.
All right, Bruce, Nuggets beat the Clippers last night. Jokić, another remarkable performance, 55 points, 78% shooting from the floor. He outscored the entire Clippers starting lineup.
Yeah.
Has it hit a point where Jokić can pretty much do whatever he wants when he wants to do it? Now, let's go back to October. Got off to a slow start, only averaged 20 points a game, but was still averaging double digits in rebounds and assists. And oh, by the way, had about 2 steals a game, and right now he is 6th in the league as a center in steals per game.
Well, first of all, he was a slacker over the last 3 periods where he only scored 30.
Right.
He had 25 of the 55 in the first period. His first period last night was about as good as I've seen a player play, even in the NBA, in a long time. And that's with all the other times that I've seen Nikola Jokić. Hell, when have we reached that point, Eric? We've been at that point. We've talked for years now, plural. Nikola Jokić could score like this on virtually any night that he wanted to. It's a question of what he feels he needs to do for the best of the team. Can the team win? Last night, he only had 12 rebounds and 7 assists. So he was looking for his shot instead of looking for others to help score. He deemed it to be a night that, you know what, I've got it going. I'm in rhythm. The basket looks large. I'm putting it in the hole. He could do that almost every night if he chose to. But for Nikola Jokić, it's about what do I have to do to help this team win games? And they're off to a 9-2 start.
When we compare Nikola Jokić to other players, you can make the case there is no comp because of his position.
Right.
But if you had to comp him to anyone, who would it be? I have somebody in mind, and I think people would say, well, he wasn't a center. He does everything that this guy did, only I don't want to say better, but his shooting percentage was far better than this guy.
I don't know who it would be as a center. I mean,
no, I'm not referring to. I'm not comping him to a center.
Yeah.
The only guy that I can think of that Nikola Jokić is like is Magic Johnson. That's it.
Yeah.
He is Magic Johnson because, by the way, Jokić can run the floor as well.
Sure.
Not like Magic did.
No.
And listen, when you look at Magic's numbers, he was not a triple-double guy. But if he didn't have Worthy and Kareem, he would have been a triple-double guy for his entire career. Jokić doesn't have the same talent around him that the Lakers had.
Right.
So he could lean on other guys. He didn't have to score 30, 40 a night. And he's the only guy that I can actually think of. But the truth is, he's better than Magic Johnson was because his shooting percentage is off the charts. And oh, by the way, and it's not fair to Magic Johnson with this comparison, shooting threes back then, hardly in vogue. I have no idea how well of a three-point shooter Magic Johnson would have been, But in terms of shooting percentage, just all by itself, and I understand that Jokić does play closer to the basket, his shooting percentage is better than Magic Johnson. But, oh, by the way, his range is far better than Magic Johnson, too.
Yeah, I think that you are on to something with Magic Johnson, even as a point guard, a 6'9" point guard. They are similar in the respects of they are unicorns at their respective positions, right? Mm-hmm. We've never really seen anything like Magic since then. We sure as hell hadn't seen anything like Magic before then, right? Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden he's taking the ball and he's leading the Lakers fast break, and he's doing it, with great dexterity and vision and all of the things that made him Magic Johnson, right? But from a standpoint of unicorns, even though they played very different positions, they were very similar in the way that, we just hadn't seen anybody like that before. So that's pretty good when you stop to consider that we've seen two of those guys in our generation, arguably two of the absolute best that have ever played the game at their respective positions, just because of the uniqueness that they brought to it.
Well, and when you look at shooting percentage, just for the record, Jokić is shooting 56% for his career. Remember, he didn't take off in the first couple of years. Magic Johnson stepped on the floor and he was an instant star.
Right.
Magic Johnson shot 52% from the floor. Nikola Jokić, 56% from the floor. And when you look at that 56%, that includes a whole bunch of three-point shots as well. That in theory would lower your shooting percentage. I mean, we've hit a point where we have literally run out of things to say, but I will say this. Here's some stats that I saw about last night about Jokić, not necessarily about the game that he played, but what he has done over his last 6 games, which is a 6-game winning streak for the Nuggets.
Right.
He is averaging 36 points a game, 12 rebounds, 11 assists, 33 minutes a game. He is also shooting a staggering 74% from the floor during that streak, 56% from three-point range. He is also the only player in NBA history to have ever done each of these 3 things in the same season: a 50-point game plus, a 30-15-15 game plus, a 25-point game without attempting a single free throw. And all of that has been done over the last 8 days.
I think he is
8 days. He has had a career in 8 days.
Yeah.
In the record books.
Well, Chuck said it last night, said the MVP right now is Nikola Jokić. And, and this is when we're seeing the emergence of Victor Wembanyama, who is going to dominate the NBA. There's a time coming where this dude is going to be otherworldly.
Yeah.
But we've seen it with Jokić. You talk about the 6-game win streak. Remember, this is a team that started 3-2. They weren't great out of the gates. They've gotten hot now, and they're playing extremely well. They had another 130-point output last night against a Clippers team that curiously isn't very good. I think they're off to like a 3-8 start or something like that. Don't quote me, but it's well under 500. And right now the best player in the league is Nikola Jokić. And, for all the betting that you and I might have done that Jokić could have been done with his MVP string simply because of Jokić fatigue, he slaps us back into consciousness with not so fast, my friends. I can still do things that even surprise you every now and then. Last night, you're never surprised when he does great things, but he does different great things. It's like, oh, okay, give us a 55-point night where you're shooting 75%. He just gives us so much meat on the bone to talk about with his greatness because it comes in so many different forms. It all comes back to, again, What does this guy have to do for his team to win? He'll do anything that it takes to win a basketball game. And he does it in the most remarkably sportsman-like way, too. Yeah. I mean, he's just a likable dude. So, yeah, I mean, get ready, because this season is – and then we've got the Avs playing tonight against Buffalo. Hell, I can't wait for these two teams to play every single time out. I mean, we're seeing things now with McKinnon and McCarr and the Avs and the way that they're going, Jokić and the way that they're going right now. We've got the biggest football game in Denver, certainly to be played at Mile High in the last 10 years, hands down, on Sunday afternoon. It's a pretty good time to be living as a sports fan in Denver.
John Elway, widely regarded as the greatest player in Denver sports history.
Right.
I would argue that Peyton Manning was a better quarterback with the Broncos than John Elway was. That's a different conversation. John Elway is the most important player in the history of this city, but Jokić is the best. I just think it needs to be said. It's probably been said before. It's not like I haven't said it in the past, but my goodness. I mean, for all the magic that Elway put together, he wasn't like this game after game after game after game.
And Eric, it's not just us saying that because we see it. It's everybody else in the world of basketball knows it and sees it and understands it. We are seeing a player still in his prime, a 3-time MVP that is raising the ante. He raised it last year. He could have been an MVP last year. SGA ends up winning it. Great. More power to him. I didn't have an argument at the time, but Jokić actually was better last year than he had been really any time during his 3 previous MVP seasons, and he's off to a better start this season. My goodness. Enjoy it while you have it.
Okay, so the combo of Jokić and McKinnon, the combo of Gretzky and Magic are the only duos in different sports in the same city to win MVPs. Gretzky and Magic Johnson did it in 1989. A couple of years ago, it was Jokić and McKinnon. I think you can say right now, with the way things are going, or maybe not, I mean, this is up for debate, are they the greatest duo in sports history for one city? As Jokić, by the way, would win his 4th MVP this year, and McKinnon would win his 2nd. And the reason why I bring up McKinnon winning his 2nd is this. He is doing this in the age of Connor McDavid.
Yeah, right.
And that, to me, is a big, big deal. When you look at Mario Lemieux, easily a top 5 player of all time, right? Mario Lemieux started his career roughly in the NHL 5 years after Wayne Gretzky.
Yeah.
So I don't want to say Mario Lemieux is playing in Gretzky's shadow, but Gretzky was so good. To put into perspective just how good Wayne Gretzky was as a player, he won the MVP in 1989. In 1990, he finished 4th after scoring 142 points. That was the 11th best season of his career. By the way, McKinnon, when he won the MVP 2 years ago, had 140 points. Now, the game is different, and I understand it. But to have your 11th best season is remarkable, considering all the seasons that he had that were unbelievable. But he led the league in points in 1990 as well. Over Mark Messier, over Ray Bourque, over Brett Hull. He could have very easily won the MVP that season. But maybe there was some Gretzky fatigue.
Well, Wayne Gretzky, for me, is the single best team player or player in a team sport in sports history.
Really?
I think so.
Can I throw another name at you?
Yes.
Shohei Ohtani, Babe Ruth. who pitch and hit. Those would be your only arguments.
Right.
But the difference is, in my opinion, if you want to talk about dominant, Babe Ruth was more dominant than Shohei Ohtani.
Right.
He was a better pitcher, hit more home runs. But when you have a season like Babe Ruth had, when he hit, 60 home runs?
Yeah.
He had more home runs in the dead ball era than all of the other teams combined.
Yep.
And the stat that everybody knows about Wayne Gretzky is this. If he never scored a goal in his NHL career, he would lead the NHL in points. Just by assists alone.
Only that's how by much assists.
If he never scored a goal in his whole career and only had assists, he would still top the NHL for the most points of all time.
He is over 720 more assists than any other player in NHL history.
Well, here, to take how many assists did he have?
1,963 assists.
And who is second in points of all time?
I'm not in points. I'm in assists.
Okay. Now, granted, I'll let you look it up and I'll just continue to talk. Now, granted, Wayne Gretzky had some pretty good line mates who could score. Mark Messier, who, by the way, won the MVP in 1990 when he was with the Rangers. Yari Curry was a pretty good player as well.
Right.
Hall of Famer. And he had the protection of Dave Semenko, which should not be overlooked at all. When you were on the ice with Wayne Gretzky and Semenko was on the ice, or Marty McSorley was on the ice, don't even think of breathing on Wayne Gretzky, because you would get your ass kicked in front of a sold-out crowd of 18,000 people. And even as a visiting team, which the Oilers were obviously many times, the other team's fans would watch Semenko or McSorley beat the shit out of the other guy's tough guy, unless it was Bob Probert.
Right. Jaromir Jagr, 1921, Wayne Gretzky, 2857, 2,857 career points. So he's over 900 points still ahead of the second best scorer in NHL history. And listen to the
second best scorer, isn't it Ovechkin?
No.
In terms of goals.
In terms of goals, he's number one, Ovechkin, with 901 to 894.
Right.
But Ovechkin only has 1,635 points. He is over 22 or over 1,200 points behind Gretzky. Listen to the players that are behind Gretzky, that are nipping at his so-called.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Yeah, sure.
How many assists did Gretzky have?
1963, baby.
And Jagr is second overall in points.
Correct.
With how many?
He has 1,921 points to the 2,857.
Right.
That Gretzky has.
Yeah.
So here are the guys that are right in line. Jagr, Messier, Howe, Ron Francis, Marcel Dion, Steve Yzerman, Mario Lemieux, Sid Crosby, and Joe Sakic. That's the rest of the top 10. Holy shnikes. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you know what he is? He's secretariat at the Belmont in 1973.
Yeah, it's a great call, man.
He's out of frame. Now, the one area where you can claim, if you wanted to, who is a better player, Gretzky or Lemieux, you would go with Gretzky at first blush, and rightfully so. But when you look at points per game, I believe Mario Lemieux tops.
Okay.
But the guy was injured all the time with a bad back, and, oh, by the way, he missed time because of cancer.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So did you have points per game up there as well?
No,
I believe Lemieux averaged 2 points per game for his career.
Stand by on Mario Lemieux because he's down the list.
Yeah, but points per game is where.
Well, I hear you on points per game.
I could be wrong.
No, he is not easily retrievable right now for the purposes of this radio show or this podcast.
That's okay.
Okay, sorry about that. Yeah. But I'll get that during the break.
But when we look at McKinnon, who's having an MVP season, and oh, by the way, maybe
Lemieux is 8th. Sorry about that. He is 8th.
Yeah, in what?
Yeah. 8th in total points, 1,723 points. So he played 915 games to the 1,487 games that Gretzky played. Yep. So yes, overtime. Yeah.
Isn't it fun to look at this stuff?
Oh, it's fascinating. Absolutely fascinating.
Right.
But I can't come up with points per game.
Yeah. I'll find it somewhere. I'm sure it's somewhere there. Anyway, coming up after the break, Broncos do have a game on Sunday. From what I understand, it's a big one.
I've heard.
They might be getting back a key player, but they won't have arguably 2 of their best players. How much will that affect Sunday's game? That's next.
Ferguson's Heating and Cooling is the best in Denver, and their customers agree. Ferguson's has 165 5-star Google reviews, and here's one from Betsy. Highly professional, prompt, and honest. I switched to Ferguson's when I became aware my former company was trying to sell me a whole new system I didn't need. Ferguson's is an honest, working, family-owned business that'll give you a fair price, the highest quality parts and equipment, and they always show up on time. You can trust the Ferguson family like you trust your own family. Go to fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. All their locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook, great hangout bar, great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. They are the sports bar.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite barbecue spot. Mine, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew. My favorites, slowly smoked ribs, smoked corned beef Reuben, smoked meatloaf with a portobello balsamic cream sauce. Don't forget about Smokin' Dave's 16-hour smoked brisket and pork with one of their 4 homemade barbecue sauces. Great sides, you bet. Barbecue beans made with pork and brisket and their southern corned bake. Man, you gotta try it. Plus, they have amazing non-barbecue entrees on the menu. Go where I go, Smokin' Dave's Barbecue and Brew in North Denver.
Here's another great promotion from Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos in Blackhawk. On December 13th, it's their annual holiday auction for a pair of Super Bowl tickets, tools, jewelry, electronics, toys, and kitchen appliances. Earn auction currency with every locked-up jackpot, players' points, or a daily cash drawing. There's so many ways to earn currency, and the more you play, the more you'll be able to bid and win what you want at their auction. So get up to Sasquatch and Wildcard Casinos and start stacking your auction currency today.
Ever wondered where city and county fleet vehicles go when they retire? Now's your chance to find out and score big. Imagine driving away with a great deal on a reliable vehicle. For over 45 years, Roller Auction has been the trusted source for government fleet vehicles and equipment. Trucks, SUVs, sedans, and more, all selling to the highest bidder. Don't miss out. Visit roller.bid/hot takes to get auction updates today. Your next vehicle could be just a click away.
Everyone has their favorite sports bar. Mine, the Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. All their locations are everything a sports bar should be. An upscale menu with 12 different burgers, outstanding wings, and my favorite, the Philly cheesesteak egg rolls. They've got every game on the NFL Sunday Ticket, MLB Extra Innings, NHL Center Ice, NBA League Pass, plus soccer, rugby, and UFC. Sportsbook, great hangout bar, great for private parties. The Sportsbook Bar and Grill in Highlands Ranch, DTC, and now in Parker. They are the Sports Bar. And welcome back. Hot Takes Goodman and Haertl. Time now for What's Trending.
What's Trending is presented by Ferguson's Heating and Cooling. Your family should trust the Ferguson family for all your heating and cooling needs, and you'll see why they have over 165 5-star Google reviews. Make an appointment today at fergusonsheatingandcooling.com.
Want to tell you what I just looked up. So I was wrong, but kind of right, because I think that's what I meant. How do you like what I said?
I hear you. It all
that's
works.
what I meant.
I'm with you.
So when it comes to points per game, Wayne Gretzky is number 1, and Mario Lemieux's number 2. But in terms of goals per game, Mario Lemieux's on top.
Okay, there you go.
So
good.
Either way. With that, let's get into the Broncos against the Chiefs. Marvin Mims returned to the practice field. Looks like he will likely play on Sunday against the Chiefs. The Broncos also signed Lil'Jordan Humphrey off the Giants practice squad. He'll be available for the Chiefs as well. How much of a lift do you think Mims is going to give this struggling Broncos offense, especially with J.K. Dobbins not playing?
Well, it's a piece. I think it's as big a piece in the return game as it is in the actual offense.
Yeah.
You need a spark back there, and it depends. And it's not to say that Michael Bandy didn't do his job. He did have the muff in the one game that they were able to overcome. But yeah, so that's nice to have Marvin Mims back. Lil'Jordan Humphrey, big body, good blocker, understands the offense. You can plug and play him. You know the player. I mean, that goes without saying. You got to have depth at that position because you've got some holes there right now. But that's okay. I mean, I think the J.K. Dobbins was not at practice yesterday, not expected to play. Don't think that they're going to put him on IR. But I would get ready for a combination of R.J. Harvey, Jaleel McLaughlin, Tyler Bidet this week, and it will be interesting to see what Sean dials up in the running game for a team that really needs the running game. Because if you go back and look at the ways that are best, the teams have had the most success against the Chiefs are basically running right at them, not on the edges, but literally running the ball right at the middle of the defense. So will the Broncos employ that? That remains to be seen, but that's kind of where we're trending to on Sunday.
Why bring in Lil'Jordan Humphrey? And if he plays on Sunday, who are you sitting? I mean, he's sitting Pat Bryant? Probably not. No. Franklin? No. Mims will likely play. Sutton's going to play. And Sherfield for special teams
will likely play. Sherfield is on the injury report.
Oh, excuse me, my bad.
No, he's on the injury report. So I think that was kind of a hedge because Lil'Jordan's a pretty good special teams guy too. So so I think that's the hedge on that bet because Sherfield, I think he has a toe. I think it's a toe or something or other, or something annoying. But anyway, so that's where they are. I'm fine with Lil'Jordan. I mean,
you know what I'd like to see, Bruce?
What's that?
I would like to see Lil'Jordan and Pat Bryant out there.
Yeah.
And run as many screens as you want to, because the blocking will be there.
Yeah.
Something that has been missing desperately from this wide receiver group when it comes to screen passes.
Yeah. Well, look, it gives you options when you're in your heavy personnel, when you've got a couple of tight ends, if you've got a couple of nasty, big wide receivers that can block as well, you can do some things in the running game with the threat of a passing game still. So there's lots of different things that you can do. I just will be interested to see what they dial up to try to gain some rhythm and some footing offensively, because obviously that's been pretty elusive for the last couple of weeks.
So if the Broncos beat the Chiefs, they'll have a tremendous chance to knock the Chiefs out of the division race. The Chiefs will be 5-5. The Broncos will be 9-2 heading into their bye week. I think you can argue the question I'm about to pose to you either way. But I think there is a snap answer to the question I'm about to ask. So I have a feeling I'm going to be taking the minority side on this. Which team has more pressure to win on Sunday? The Chiefs or the Broncos?
You're going to look at it, I think, from a more overarching standpoint, and I'm probably going to agree with what you say.
What am I going to say?
I think you're going to say the Broncos.
Yes.
I'm going to say the Chiefs because in the moment.
It's a great argument. Whatever you're about to say, and I know and I have an idea what you're going to say, it's a great argument. It's an accurate argument.
In the micro, in the moment.
Yeah.
When you are 2.5 games back, you cannot afford, with 6 games left to play, being back 3 games in the division without a game in hand. So I will, in the micro, that's what I would say. But I'm intrigued to hear your argument for the macro, or maybe you're making an argument for the micro as well for the Broncos.
You can make the case that the Eagles was their signature win of the season.
Sure.
Their biggest win in years. But the Eagles aren't the Chiefs. It's not.
No.
They are not the bully on the block, on your block, every single week. Mentally, they have to beat this team. They just do. And you want to talk about the Chiefs living rent-free in Sean Payton's head. Remind me what he said after the Broncos got throttled by the Bills. What did he say?
Said it was too bad. Essentially, he said it was too bad because they liked their second round matchup
against the Chiefs.
Yeah.
Even after a loss, the season is over. Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes are living rent-free in Sean Payton's head.
Yeah, I don't think Sean had 2 lattes and candles in the bath that morning either. So
no,
I hear you. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I
get everything that you're saying, Bruce.
Yeah,
and it is correct. But I think sometimes 2 things can be true at the same time.
Absolutely.
For the Chiefs, if they go 5-5, they will need to win 5 or 6 games to likely make the playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, their playoff hopes could take a potential death blow at 5-5. So they need to win this game just to stay in the division race and really to stay in the playoff race. But if the Broncos have Super Bowl aspirations, they have to win this game. If they lose this game, I think they walk away and say, we're still not at their level yet. And even though they might believe it right now, and even though Sean liked the matchup heading into the second round, and we could talk about what happened last year in Kansas City, they lost, period.
Right.
The Chiefs found a way to win. And how did they find a way to win? They watched enough film to know they could execute a play to block a field goal. Let's not overlook that.
Oh, my
and
God.
Say, well, the Broncos should have won that game because a field goal was blocked. That field goal was not blocked by accident. It was blocked because of preparation.
Right. No question about it. And that's a very, very good point. Could have won that game. Yes, absolutely. Should have won that game. Block your guys. And he's still got to kick the ball through. But anyway, I do think this. When Sean at the end of last year talked about liking the Chiefs in a second round matchup, he had the benefit of an offense that was basically scoring about 26, 27 points a game. Going into this week, he doesn't have that benefit. Now, is it an offense that's capable? Well, yeah, it's capable, and it's given us fits and starts, but you've got to score some points to beat the Chiefs. The Chiefs have scored, I think, under 20 points only once this season. The Broncos, in their last 11 games, allowing teams to score 20 points or more, are 3-8. There are some metrics here that indicate your offense has got to keep up. You've got to be able to keep up and to match them punch for punch. Whether or not they can do that remains to be seen. The odds makers don't think so because, as you've taught me, a 3.5 point underdog at home is actually a 6-point underdog to those in Vegas.
Right.
So we are.
Okay. So with that, when the Broncos were heading into their game against the Eagles, they were coming off a short week.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They were playing an undefeated Super Bowl champion team. And I think the feeling was, if it's a close game, maybe there's a moral victory there. Is that fair to say?
Sure.
There will be no moral victories in this one on Sunday. If they lose on a last-second field goal, if they lose,
we're well past that. Yes, well past it. This is a do you win the game or lose the game?
It doesn't matter how close it is. It's irrelevant at this point. There will be zero moral victories if the Broncos just barely lose, because you still haven't climbed that hill. And oh, by the way, I will go to the Wayback Machine using Sean Payton's words, but this time applying it to him. Now, this is Payton's hump.
Yeah, well said.
Because you can't look at the season finale last year when they didn't play their starters. And yes, in the last couple of years, listen here. Think about this for a second. If the Broncos beat the Chiefs, they will have beaten the Chiefs 3 times in a row at home. But there's some nuance to it.
Yeah,
they didn't play the Chiefs didn't play their starters last year, and yes, the year before they beat them at home. But still, you still haven't gotten over that hump.
No, and let me be clear on where I see this Sunday filtering into the mix. If you win this game, the importance of it in the standings is self-evident. It does all kinds of things for you in the moment, but in a larger sense, to your point, and I'm kind of tying both of our perspectives together, in a larger, broader sense, the knowledge of being able to win a game that you know you need to win at a time when you need to win it against an opponent that has been your nemesis is absolutely huge moving forward. You think that you got confidence coming out of Philadelphia? Well, what about this one coming out of even beating a Kansas City team that comes in at 5-4 and is coming off a bad performance in Buffalo? The residuals that you get for winning a game like this and how it can propel you down the season stretch, especially with an opportunity to get healthy with the bye week coming up, is absolutely monumental.
There will be 2 narratives after the game with a win or a loss. If the Broncos win this game, they're the best team in the AFC.
Yeah. You could certainly
that will be the argument from many national people that they beat the Chiefs coming off a bye week. And I don't need to go through the numbers how good Andy Reid is after a bye week.
22-4.
Okay. And Sean Payton has they don't have a bye week, but they have extended time to get ready for this game. So if they beat the Chiefs, whether it's at Arrowhead or at home, and even if it's at home, and it will be at home, period.
Right.
But if they win at home, I don't think the national pundits would look at a Broncos win and say, well, they only won it because they were at home. That's why, because you do have to look at last year's game in Kansas City, in which it was that razor thin, and you can make the case the Broncos have closed the gap. They will be the talk of the town. The Broncos are for real if they win this game.
I would agree.
If they lose this game, I don't care if it's by 1 point, or certainly if it's by 20, that's going to play a role too. If they lose convincingly, they will be seen as paper tigers.
Yes.
Okay. If they lose a close game, they will be seen as they are good enough to potentially make a run, but they're still not there because they can't beat their daddy.
I would agree with that. Absolutely. And I also think this, there won't be a single word of how did this game look? No. This is win or lose. This is a result-driven game. Yeah. It doesn't mean one damn thing about how you won this game if you get a quote-unquote lucky break, whatever it is. You win this game, it falls into the category that you have just laid out. This is all about winning and losing, period. That's where we are. We're into the last 7 weeks of the season, the last 6 weeks, 7 weeks of the season. These games now become magnified. The Broncos are in the catbird seat. They are breathing rarefied air. You know, they are in a tremendous situation right now, and they have a chance to bury a lot of things by beating the Chiefs on Sunday.
They have a chance to knock the Chiefs out of the playoffs.
They do.
They have a chance to take the team that has tortured them since Patrick Mahomes took over, and actually before that.
Yeah.
Remember, the whole winning streak against the Broncos, which is no longer a winning streak for the Chiefs, began during the Peyton Manning era.
Right.
Began, I believe, and I was there, in the game in which Peyton Manning broke an NFL record. But they wound up losing that game.
At home. At home. The streak started at Mile High. So, yeah, it's hard to believe that it goes back that far. And actually, in the Broncos, it had the same kind of dominance over the Chiefs, not to the level that the Chiefs have had over the Broncos, but the difference was that the Chiefs were about the same. They were better than the Broncos have been over the last 10 years and the time before that. But anyway, we don't need to get down a rabbit hole. Just go win the damn game. That's the key. Win the game. We don't care about style points. We don't care about anything at this point. Did you win the game? Did you lose the game? Because it's huge. If you win this football game, Monday will be a hell of a day on this radio show, because I'm telling you, it changes everything about who the Broncos are and, more importantly, who they could be.
You know what would even be more impressive if they win, using your words? You said this would be a hell of a radio show. That'd be monumental, because this isn't a radio show.
It's a podcast.
Are we starting a radio show on Monday and I'm not aware of it?
Hey, you got to be careful about what I'm doing behind closed doors, my friend.
That's going to do it for us. Hot Takes, Goodman and Haertl. Make it the best possible day you can.